What's going on, guys? Matt Manduke here, and this is a little bit of a mix of an angry Manduke and a drone flight, because clearly this is a drone flight because I'm flying the drone and that's what you're watching. But I'm angry about the facility that I had to go to, and I'm not, labeling it as an angry because I flew the drone, so it's a drone video, but I'm angry about this place, and this is why I'm flying. So I can show you that's where I had to turn around at. I had to turn around there to be able to get into the dock that I'm sitting in while I'm flying, and that's not the property of the place where I docked at. Now, the truck that you see there, he is in line to get in. He's actually next to get in because the guy that is in front of him, I end up talking to. Well, he never went inside to turn in his bills, and the other guy, I don't know what he's doing, but he is, I guess he's looking for another place to turn around, because the two trucks that were parked on the road were preventing you from getting into the place to be able to turn around at. I would probably turn around where he's at right now, but I'm not him, and good thing, because I saw him drive later and he moved his tandems and never locked them back into position while he was trying to back into the loading dock, and they were like moving while he was backing in, and I didn't understand that, and neither did anyone else, because he didn't even know why he did it, because he was trying to say he didn't know where he should have his tandems to be, but they should always be all the way up the front when you're doing something that's tight as this. Well, you can see what it is and how it is, and you had to do an alley dock into the loading bay, and you ended up having to use part of the grass because there's no other way to do it, but the grass was all torn up because that's how it is. Now, where I'm flying now is at the end of the road, because that's where the address was, and I saw that there was a loading dock on the front of the building, so I thought that's where I was going to have to get in at, but that wasn't. I ended up having to back up and then pull into where I was, turn around, and so that I could do the maneuver that was required, and I ended up getting help with the maneuver even after I already had the maneuver I was going to do done, and I was already halfway in the loading dock, and all I had to do was straighten out. But I ended up getting help from the guy that I'm now talking to, which is then procrastinating my ability to be able to fly so that I can explain what and all is going on like I'm doing right now. And I'm trying to fly around the area to show you what I had to deal with, because the lanes are the road is very thin, and you can see that none of the buildings are really made so that there's any kind of ample amount of room. Yes, trucks can do it. Yes, trucks do it. It is ideal for us to have more space, because you want to be able to use as much space as you possibly can to be able to do the maneuver that you want. So the easier it is, the better it is, and the more rapid it's going to be for a truck to be able to get in and out, and less likely for a truck to hit things. Not that I hit anything, but hey, some people do, and part of that's because things are tight. On the other side of where it's divided there, that's actually US 45 in Jackson, Tennessee, because that's where we're at, Jackson, Tennessee, and the dividing part is the entrance to the industrial park. And part of the other thing I'm going to show you with this video, and that's why I was flying, was because I wanted to see if I could get over to where the back entrance was, and I'm going to show you in a minute because I'm headed over there. And this is where Garmin told me to try to pull in at, which was actually on the other side, the industrial park, to try to pull in. Here's a big sign on a telephone pole that you would hit if you try to pull in there that said this is not a truck entrance. It's a good thing, but I wasn't going to do that anyway, because I would have knocked over a telephone pole trying to get in there, and I'm not into hitting things, not with my truck, not with my trailer. I'm just not into that, so I didn't go that way. But kind of see that there's trucks and trailers all over the place, and it's just so tight and nasty. But yeah, if you see the end of that road there where it connects to the main road, the lighter it hits the darker, that's where Garmin wanted me to come in, and I was going to be making a right to turn on there, and that would not happen. But the place where I ended up turning around on, that's Tennessee 18, would have been just as tight. Now, right now I'm flying over to where I said that guy could have turned around at, and ideally that would have been a better place to turn around than even where I did, now that I'm really looking at it. But I didn't go down there to see what it's like, because you never really know what you're getting into until you get into it, and once you get into it, you're already beat. But that looks like it would have been a dream to turn around in. And so, yeah, I had to cut out a piece, because at this point I'm talking to the guy who helped guide me into the dock after I was already into the dock, and he's got a bunch of questions about drones and everything else. And, you know, in the meantime, it's distracting me from my ability to fly, which I need to be able to fly so I can bring the drone back to me. And that's more or less what I'm doing now, is trying to bring it back, because at this point, there's a guy saying that the guy next to me needs to go because he's done, and my truck is almost done, which, we'll see. Now you can see all three of them are like that, and maybe that is where he turned around, or maybe it's not, because it's not like I followed him to see. But you can also see that I am one of the straightest trucks in there, and that's partially because I knew what the hell I was doing, because I've done very similar tight things. But now if you look, while I'm still talking to the guy and I'm trying to explain to him that I'm on the other side, you can see he's in the light blue truck there. I'm in the dark blue truck that's on the end, and that would be dock 4. So dock 1 is the furthest from us and 4 is the closest to us. And then there's 2 docks in the middle, and these were actually fairly decent docks once you got in there, because there is enough room for a 5th truck, but instead they allow you to wait until you're in the lane for the loading dock to open your doors, which is nice. But you can also see how the grass is all tore up across from the dock, and that's because of what you have to do to be able to get into that dock. And that is a very common thing to have to do with your truck, is something, you know, very tight and not be on the grass as much as possible. But sometimes you gotta get on the grass, and that's just how it is. And I'm happy as hell a place like this has not put a concrete barrier up to stop people from driving on their grass, because that grass is needed to be driven on. And at this point, I think I'm just trying to get the orientation of the drone to figure out how to land it, because somebody's gonna be backing in. I don't want to be landing a drone and maybe messing with them while they're backing in. The guy that's going to be backing in is the guy in the black truck that's behind the light blue truck, and you can see me in my orange shirt next to the light blue truck, and the light blue truck looks a lot like my first truck, and that's where I'm comparing that. I got this International that I hate, and he's got this 2016 Freightliner, but the International comes with options that he doesn't have, like, well, I have an inverter and he doesn't. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this and you want to see my other drone flights, you can go ahead and check out those videos there. Or if you want to see what else I'm angry about, you can check out those videos there. They are usually much more comical, but this one was actually angry. As always, guys, I want to thank you for watching. I wouldn't do this without you. I'll see all my friends later.